Hey guys, it's Lainey. Today I'm doing my November TBR. If you're wondering what I'm dressed up as, I'm dressed up for my theme, which my theme is dystopian survival. I got my cargo jacket on, got my combat boots on that you can't see, got my bandana, and I put these on so you kind of understood that I'm hardcore. Makes more sense with the little costume I did here. So, without further ado, let's get started on my November TBR. As I just said, my November TBR theme is going to be dystopian survival in honor of the Hunger Games, which is coming out at the end of the month. To prepare for that, I'm going to be reading a bunch of survival dystopians. Obviously, I'm going to be reading Catching Fire, or I guess the Hunger Games and Catching Fire. I want to definitely refresh my memory of Catching Fire before I see the movie. I've never reread The Hunger Games, so I want to do that, and then I want to do these. These books, I love these books not only because of the story, but because they're so short and they're so easy to get through because they're so fast-paced. So these are on the list for this month. Now, I do plan to finish Never Fade, which I mentioned in my wrap-up video that I will be finishing probably this weekend. That's on the list. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to be reading Allegiant this month or next. I know that sounds so bad because I'm so excited to read it, but I really don't know if I want to read it right now. So there's that. These next books, this is the expectation, so we'll see if this actually dissolves into reality of whether I'll be reading them or not. But they're just a bunch of survival dystopians that I've been wanting to read, so I have them. The first one being Horde by Anna Guire, which is the third and final book in her Razorland trilogy, which is Enclave, Outpost, and now Horde. This was just released October 29th. I got it in the mail from pre-ordering it on Amazon, and it came the day of. Not that it mattered that much because I wasn't obviously able to read it yet. So I'm very excited to see the conclusion of the story. Definitely recommend these books. I have a review of Enclave, which was the very first video I ever posted, if you want to see me be really awkward. I actually never edited my Outpost review. I should probably do that. The next book I hope to get to this month is Article 5 by Kristen Simmons. I just got this book through a book outlet, so I'm really excited to read it. It just sounds so interesting and something that I'll like, dystopian. And if you can tell that this front cover, even the city is kind of destroyed. So, super excited to read this book. Have any of you guys read it? If you did you like it? Another book I plan to read this month is Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi. I've been wanting to read this book. I'm finally going to read it this month. I'm so excited. I might even read it after I finish Never Fades. This might be the first book I read in November. So, yay. Quarantine by Lex Thomas. I forgot to mention this book in any of my book hauls, but I got this book when I bought Never Fade. The quarantine part of it is there's these teenagers that have been quarantined in their high school. The ones that haven't died have resulted to being quarantined in their high school, where the government doesn't want to touch that high school anymore. So there's gangs and grossness and destruction and very little order. This book reminds me of the movie Blindness, if any of you guys have seen that movie with Julianne Moore and Mark Ruffalo. It was kind of an indie movie, but it kind of has that same feel to it, so, except they're not blind. Anyway, I'm excited to read this book. I think it's going to be very interesting, and it's, I think, a boy protagonist, so don't get a lot of that. Awesome. Another book I plan to read this month is Monument 14 by Emmy Laybourne. I got this book through Book Outlet. It was like really cheap. It was one of their scratch and deads. So the top corner thing is a little bent, but I'm excited to read this book too. It's about teenagers surviving in a superstore, kind of grocery store, superstore, like a department store. So I'm excited to read this book. I know the second book is already out because I've seen it at Barnes & Noble. So when I get through this, possibly be getting the next book if I like it. And the last book I plan to read in my survival dystopian TBR is The 100 by Cass Morgan. I'm super excited to read this book. I think I'm going to completely enjoy it. This is going to be a new series on CW come next year. It's a mid-season TV show. I'm super excited to read this book. I absolutely adore this cover. It is so beautiful. So excited to read this book. I cannot wait to read this book. Of course, all of these books I will be doing reviews on. However, I don't think I'll be doing reviews on Catching Fire and The Hunger Games because everybody knows those books. Maybe I'll do because these will be rereads, maybe I'll do a special little rereads video where I kind of talk about how I felt about it the first time I read it, and then how I feel about it now, how I read it, if I read it differently or something like that. If that interests you, maybe leave a comment below and I'll see what I can do with that. Feel like there's other books I want to read this month. I'll probably be doing Unravel Me, even though it's not quite survival dystopian. There's a good chance I'm gonna maybe take a break from survival dystopian halfway through my TBR and read this one as well because Warner. And that's all I need to say about that. So those are the books I plan to read this month. What books are you guys planning to read? I want to know, of course. So hope you guys all have a great day. I'm Lainey, and I will see you guys later. Bye!